All right, this is the last page of the 1.3 notes. And this, now we're going to start using that linear regression that I showed you on the last video, the last page, what those buttons do. Okay, so this wants us to use the linear regression feature on the calculator to find the equation of a line for the best fit and find the correlation coefficient and interpret the correlation coefficient as strong positive, strong negative, and weak. Well, I want to tell you what the correlation coefficient is first off, and that's when we do these, it's the R value. It is how closely the data falls to a straight line. So you might want to remember that. So it's how closely data falls along a straight line. Okay? So if I were to draw a line through this, that correlation coefficient is telling me it's either really falling in a straight line or it's really not. So the R that is given to you, so your correlation coefficient, so these are the types of things it could be. If it is at -1, this is a perfect negative. That means it has a negative slope, and it is all those data points form exactly a straight line. Nothing is outside of that line. Okay? Then we'll have like -0.5, 0, 0.5, and 1. Now a +1 is a perfect positive. So all the data going up here, if it were to form an exact straight line, then it would be a perfect positive. Okay? Now, they're either exact or perfect, or they're not. You can't, when you get your R values, you cannot round up to 1 or down to -1. Okay? They're either perfect or they're not. So you can't, so 0.9999 repeating or whatever, when you're talking about your correlation coefficient, you cannot round up to 1. You just say it's 0.99 because it's not perfect. So anything between that 0.5, and I know that looks like it's negative, but that's a decimal. This was what we call a strong positive. It means those points are pretty close to a straight line, or you can at least see a straight line within them. So that means between -1 and -0.5 is a strong negative. And then anything between -0.5 and 0.5 is weak. It means we can't really form a straight line with that data. So if I, just as an example, if I have my data here and I just have all these points, if I were to plug those points in and do this linear regression, I can't form a straight line anywhere for this data. Okay, so this one would definitely be under category weak. Whereas this one, I can see it lines up pretty good, so it's going to have a pretty strong, and it's going down, so it's going to have a pretty strong negative correlation coefficient. So let's use this part of our calculator